Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've been absolutely flat out getting things ready for Underwater Pet Expo in Melbourne, 29th of February and 1st of March. This is going to be Australia's largest aquarium expo for both freshwater and marine. It's going to be huge. But anyway, that's not the point of today's video. I did a local fish shop tour of one of my good friends Shane's place up in Gosford, Fantasea Aquariums, so I thought I'd show you the footage right now. Let's get into it. Alright, so where is Gosford? Gosford is on the central coast, which is just a bit over an hour north of Sydney. You can see we're about halfway between Sydney and Newcastle. So here we are up in Gosford at Fantasea Aquariums, and you wouldn't believe it, but we were in bushfire threat only a few days before, and today it is absolutely pouring rain, but such is the weather in Australia at the moment. It's not going to stop us having a good time at Fantasea Aquariums, so let's get in there and check it out. You can see they specialise in doing home or office servicing of aquariums as well as custom builds. You can see this front room is dedicated to ponds, and it's pretty cool to see. You don't often see a huge assortment of ponds in aquarium stores. I guess they take up a fair bit of room, so it's a difficult thing to have on display, but seeing a lot of ponds running is really cool, and seeing fish like these koi that we can't get in Victoria definitely make me jealous. So a really nice little addition here. You can see they've got different styles of ponds. The way they've got them set up here in the bench top, so they're raised up, is quite clever too. It keeps them, I suppose it stops children from falling into them because they're kind of raised up. Either way, it works out really well. But once you come up the main stairs, you'll come into the main area of the store, and you can see this beautiful display tank here, this Red Sea Reefer, which has got a really cool few additions in here that I really like. That sail fin, such a photogenic fish. But check out the naked clowns. I bet being right at the entrance where a lot of people walk in, a lot of newbies would confuse them for goldfish, but they're actually a pretty exotic clownfish. You may notice also there the long-nosed black tang, pretty fairly rare fish. You don't see a lot of them. About as rare as a gem tang, really. They're basically the same without the spots on them, so they're a pretty cool fish. We got some nice zoas in there. You can see a cool torch garden and hammer garden there, so there's plenty going on in there. And you come across to this assortment of large tanks here. This one on the front left is full of frags, and we've got some absolute crackers in here. We've got some Samacoras, a heap of zoas, some leptos, looks like some chalice. We got, what else? We got some monties. We've got, what do we got? Some war corals there. What do we got? Also some different types of monties there. A huge assortment of species, colour, size, a big array of different species of zoas there. We've got some blastos, I can see. We've got some favia. Maybe some acan frags there as well. So really nice low tank, so you can look over the top and check them out. They've managed to keep the water really smooth on top too. Check out that gigantic rock there of zoas, absolutely glowing. It's going to make an instant showpiece in someone's tank. And that's something that the guys here at Fantasea Aquariums have got a huge assortment of very large showpiece corals, which from a retailer's perspective must be difficult because they're not the sort of thing you sell every day. But if you have a new tank or a large tank and you're looking to get that showpiece in there rather than a small little frag, you know the guys to go to because they've got some big pieces there ready to add a bunch of colour to your tank. In this one here, we've got a few maze corals. We've got some gigantic hammers. They kind of make them... they kind of don't look that big because they're surrounded by other gigantic hammers and that absolutely massive clam there, but they are huge pieces. We got some fungias, we got some palm tree corals, one of my absolute favourites. We've got a good assortment of fungias. We've got some leathers. You can see a better look at those hammers there. We've got some, I think one of those, the one in the middle there, the one that's kind of the rainbow colours, may have come from Oceanarium over in WA, Ocean Reefs Marine. It's the same as the one I've got, I'm pretty sure, which has got a nice little assortment of colours. You can see some beautiful golds in there, some true toxic greens, and that absolutely massive one in there. Normally when I say a coral's big, I say it's the size of my head. This thing, believe it or not, despite the size of my head, is way bigger than my head. It would be close to 2 of my heads, and it's 999 Australian dollars, which for a coral that's going to take up about 2 square foot in your tank, that's massive. Massive coral, that's a good price. We've got some beautiful Australian elegance corals there. See some Trachophilias along the bottom, some more common types of hammers. And then when we come over onto the desk, we've got this little, I'm fairly sure this is Dimax tank here, a nice little nano showcasing some fairly easy to keep hardy corals. And then when we look over the counter, you can see a good range of the dry goods. So we've got Reef Revolution items there. We've got Sea Cam. We've got two little fishies. We've got Red Sea. We've got, actually, we'll come around the corner and have a look here. We've got the full range from Triton here, from their calcium, alkalinity. We've got all of their trace elements here. You've got bromine, boron, calcium, alkalinity, iodine, potassium, magnesium, manganese, sulfate, and strontium. Whew, that's a mouthful. Got some Tunzi gear there. We've got some of the reagents there for Triton. We've got a good assortment of polyfilter, an absolute must-have for every marine reef aquarist. We've got the Red Sea range of test kits. We've got some coral box dosing containers there. We've got yet another display tank. This one built into the wall. It's a little bit more of an old style tank with the, I guess, the rock wall and some large leathers in there. But I absolutely love it because we start to get a little bit too focused on these little sticks, and we just forget that big sweeping leathers just look incredible. So a really nice tank to see. Got a great range here of Vitalis foods. We've got... what do we got up here? Aqua One air pumps. We've got heaters. We've got little turkey basters. We've got little trimmers. We've got these little shrimp tanks here, freshwater shrimp tanks. All sorts and everything you need there to keep your planted tank, your little cutters and trimmers. We've got some coral hand saws. We've got some glue guns. We've got a good range here of pumps for ponds, so even pond UVs, even a pond vacuum if your pond gets a bit out of hand and you need to give it a vac, you can pick up one of those pond vacuums. You can see over in the corner here, we've got a good assortment of aquarium hose, including pond hosing. If you need to do a decent run of that, the guys here can sort you out. Got a big freshwater display tank there. I'm not going to try and tell you what any of those freshwater fish are because you'll know I don't know any of them. Come over here, you can see we've got some large driftwood pieces there ready to go, and some large boulders and rocks for building up your scapes. In all sorts of different sizes, varieties, colours, so you can get quite creative there. I'm fairly sure these guys are cichlids. Just showcasing my freshwater knowledge, and the good assortment of them, all sorts of different types, colours, sizes. So if you're a cichlid enthusiast, you should have a pretty good range to pick from here. I'm going to browse past them pretty quickly. Check out these bright yellow guys though. He's in there between these blue, white and black striped units, but that bright yellow one catches my eye. If I was a freshwater guy, that's the one I'd be looking at, I reckon. Have a quick look at this freshwater tank here. It's a little bit cloudy at the moment just because the guys just gave it a big clean before the frag stock event here, but it's still a beautiful tank showcasing. Sure, they're fake plants and that's not for everyone, but you got to remember that aquariums aren't just for people that are the absolute niche end at the top end of the market. Some people just want to have a little bit of light and colour in their house, and if you can have a really hardy, easy to keep freshwater tank that's got some fake plants in there, maybe one of these awesome ghost knife fish. Such a strange looking unit. Let's check him out there. He's $100. They're just nothing translates to them. Such a weird fish, kind of stuck between an eel and a shark. Such a weird unit. What do we got here? Looks like some clown loaches. Come around the corner here, potentially gouramis. I'll say that quietly so no one catches whether I'm telling the truth or not. We've got some, pretty sure they're guppies, perhaps mollies, but I think guppies. Bit of a staple in the freshwater industry. Come over here, we've even got a range of reptile goods here. So from your heaters, we've also got some ornaments for your tanks, but we've got reptile substrate, reptile lamps. We've got the coral tanks there that we've already had a bit of a look at, so we'll pan past those. Check out this giant star. I'm going to say star. It could be like an urchin, but it kind of looks like a star, I think. Weird beast to see. I'm not sure whose tank that would be suitable for, but I love having weird things like that to check out because it's not the sort of thing you see every day. Basically, it means you go into a shop just to have a look around for free, and you basically get a tour of a aquarium while you're there. Beautiful little angel in there. He's got a nice, I'm not sure exactly what species he is, but he's orange with a black dot on his side. There'll probably be a card down the front there. Yeah, he's got his Latin name, which doesn't help me much though. This big dude, oh man, he's aggressive. I believe he's some sort of grouper. We'll have a look at the card in a second. Definitely a predator fish. Definitely a cool looking dude. Sorry, I take that back. He's a red spot dotty back. A good size unit though. He's probably about the size of maybe about 4 or 5 of my thumbs. Pretty big unit. We've got there a nice little wrasse, a yellow chorus wrasse. We've got the cleaner wrasse with another yellow chorus. Got a few more traditional stars in there. You can see mandarin in the background. Got a bunch of strombus snails there, plus some peppermint shrimp. In here we've got another cleaner wrasse, chorus wrasse, and a few other. We've just got some urchins and some strombus snails in there. Just noticed that peppermint shrimp, so I'd pan in on them. We're not seeing a lot of peppermint shrimp in the industry at the moment. I'm not sure why, and there's probably a good reason. We've got no shortage of blue tangs in here. We've got, looks like a scopaz in the background there. We've got a clown tang, a big emperor angel. This cool looking little dude there, the yellow and blue guy, not sure what he is. We've got a rabbit fish hiding down there. Over here we've got a nice blonde lipstick. Looks like some sort of a lytail anthea perhaps. We've got a blue tang. We've got a magnificent fox face. Pan down into this tank here. I apologise if the camera work's not great. The aisles here are more than adequate to get down if you're not lugging a camera around, but when you're carrying your camera, and also there's quite a few people in store at the same time, being a Saturday morning, it can be a little tricky, so I'll do my best with the cameras here. I wanted to point these fish out here because axolotls are something that I have fond memory of, even though I've never had one in my life. As a kid, your mind always goes straight to the axolotl. They're such a unique fish. I don't reckon I've seen them in aquariums for probably the last 10 years, so seeing a tank full of them there was really cool to see. And of course, you got to have some of these fancy bubble eye goldfish, because that's something else that people have a fond memory of from when they were kids growing up. So you got a good assortment of all these different sort of variants of goldfish. Obviously, these guys here are absolutely glowing. There's obviously, they're reacting pretty well to the light above them, no doubt, but a good sign of how happy and healthy they are. We've got this other display tank here. There's an Reef 400, which is just full of damsels and xenia, which most people would consider both that fish and that coral to be absolute pests. But this tank looks pretty cool. It's I don't know, something about it just showcases how basic things can look really nice. And speaking of basic things, although there's probably nothing basic about a beta, we got this beautiful display of betas over here. These guys all ready to go. Most of them come in just for the event for this day, but good assortment of colours and types in there, and you've got a good range of beta tanks available too. That was one of the items that was sort of packaged up as a beginner part, so we've got a good assortment. We've got even more betas here. Check out this red guy. Big long fins on him, absolute stunner of a fish. And then you got some of these ones here with a bit of mottle through them, so they've got some blues and reds and whites, and something about the beta always catches my attention. But we've got these tanks here that are all set up ready, so you can get everything you need to get a beta happy and healthy and living a long time, which is cool. Here's Shane with his son. This is the owner of Fantasea Aquariums. The man himself is normally in store. You can come and chat to him and cut a deal. He knows everything you need to know about aquarium keeping, ranging from building custom designs up to helping you set it up for success, through to the maintenance. And if you need help with maintenance, come and speak to the Shane. And of course, the rest of his team here at Fantasea as well. But that is Shane the boss. So we've got just a few more marine fish along here. You can see the gold bar maroon clown. We've got a couple of triggers there, including a Picasso. And I think the other one's a Niger trigger. Looks like a big domino damsel, perhaps. The black and white one, not sure what he was, to be honest. Over here, we've got some more antheas and some more blue tangs. We've got another scopaz. Looks like a bicolour angel on the back. We've got a little longhorn cow fish back there. I'll just try and get some footage of these before I block too many people. Got another magnificent fox face. We've got a bunch of blue-green chromis. Looks like a French angel. Another tang back there hiding by the filter. I'm not exactly sure what type of tang he is. The black one, you can see the tail of a blue tang hiding in that ornament. Got a good school of Bangai cardinals here. We've got a blue face angel, I believe, a powder blue tang. We've got a type of butterfly there. Fijian fox face. We've got another longhorn clownfish here. Oh, he's a big long nose wrasse of some variety. And of course, we've got a stunning ribbon eel. Watching these guys swim around is absolutely something mesmerizing about that. I can't exactly explain what it is. Maybe something about being a predator while still looking so majestic and gentle while they're swimming through the water. I'm not sure. We've got some live rock in there. We've got some keto macroalgae in here along with some live rock. We got some more tangs up here, a bit of activity there. That's a, sorry, I say tangs, big trigger. Got a fox face, or there is a tang. There's a lipstick tang there, and a butterfly. Might be a raccoon butterfly, perhaps. I'm not sure. Butterflies, there's way too many varieties to remember. We got some, I believe these two are wild caught clowns. We've got some wild caught clowns and some anemones up there. And then when we pan down here, we've got some more clowns, a different type of nem down here. These ones, I believe, are still wild caught clowns, or they could be captive bred Ocellaris clowns. But when we pan over to another tank, check out this beautiful red Hedoni carpet there, looking the absolute star showpiece that it should be. And then you've got a cheaper variety of anemone there, but that'll look stunning with about 20 clowns all rustling through the bristles there, so that'd be cool to see. If I pan over my shoulder here, we've got a good range of some more frags in here. These ones are, I think have come from a shutdown tank. We've got another display tank here. Slight variants of some corals in here. We've got some morphs, we've got some leathers, we've got some hammers, elegants. And we can see some nice zoas down the bottom here. I want to show you over this tank here, which is full of some beautiful recordias, morphs, and of course some captive bred clownfish. Absolute stunning tank. There's some real showpieces in here. Check out some of the colors of these recordias, absolutely off the chains. And then check out, we've got a nice little mocha storm clownfish there, along with some of the absolute A-grade Picassos, some black and whites, some Wyomings. You know, we've got a good assortment of different clownfish varieties in there. All right, guys, that pretty well wraps up today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a like, or if you have any questions, pop it in the comment section down below. And as always, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks, guys. Catch you next time. Bye.